straight into a big moment here at AMTC 2022. We want to put into practice the title of this year's event, Connecting Opportunities, and I'm going to ask all of our speakers from the previous session, as well as our partners from Linde, EOS, MTU, and GE to please join me here on stage. We're going to take just a moment to get our table set up. And then we want to sign the birth certificate of that new cluster that we've all been talking about. So Oliver Hoffmann, while we're waiting for them to put these tables together, tell us just, if you would, why did Audi decide to become a gold partner at AMTC? What was behind that decision?
So first of all, we at Audi, we have to be on the forefront of innovation. Yeah? So our claim is Vorsprung durch Technik. And with this kind of technology, we will push the limits as much as we can. And I believe in strong partnerships, and I believe in cooperation. And this is why we are here and pushing this technology and pushing our partnership. We believe in technology.
Thank you very much for that. And let me now ask our speakers to please slowly make your way to the stage. You will see nameplates up here on the tables, as well as a piece of paper, which you are going to sign in a moment, but not yet. So Oliver Hoffmann, please. I think you're here at this first table. Yeah, exactly. So, Frau Langer, you are here. Peter Koerte is here. There's Michael. Thomas Hofmann, you're here. Lars Wagner. Amitabh Gupta, you are here. And Andreas Lessmann over here. Maybe you can just move over a trifle. Our tables are a bit slender. Thank you so much. So, welcome to all of you. As I said, the title of this year's event is Connecting Opportunities, and that, of course, is absolutely crucial, as we've heard from all of our speakers so far, if we're serious about upscaling and industrializing additive manufacturing. So we have assembled this group of heavyweight industry partners, ladies and gentlemen, to take a major step forward when it comes to collaboration, namely to launch the Bavarian AM cluster. And in just a moment, they are going to sign the birth certificates, but not yet, because I just want to get all of you to weigh in on the meaning of what we are doing here today. And I'll start with the COO of aerospace giant MTU, Lars Wagner. MTU does see a very important role for AM, obviously, in the aviation industry. But how do you think this new cluster is going to boost that?
Well, obviously, to answer that question, I'd like to come up with
It's not on yet. Can we please get sound on the mic, please, for Mr. Wagner?
I'll start again? No, it's good. Yeah.
There we go.
To answer that question, I'd like to come up with a statement in order to certify and to come up with one part for aviation, especially for the gas turbine industry. It probably takes about 5 to 7 years, and it costs mid to high double-digit million to come up with one part. And then everyone knows the gas turbine industry is not a high-scale industry, is a small-scale industry. So obviously, I'm keen to collaborate with this partner in order to decrease that, to speed up the time to market, decrease cost of development, and then come up with products. And we have a high visibility of what parts actually are possible for additive manufacturing in the gas turbine industry. And that is increased a lot, and we need to scale it up. And this is the whole value chain we see here. So from design into production, post-processes is also very important, and then high quality for aviation safety. That is the key, and this is what I'm looking with this collaboration.
Lars Wagner, MTU, thank you so much for being here today. Let me now, please, let's give him a round of applause. Thank you. And let me go now to Marie Niehaus-Langer. She is CEO of the printing solutions pioneer, one has to say, EOS. What, in your eyes, is the main aim of the cluster, not just for EOS, but also for the economy and society?
Yeah, I think the most relevant part is that we collaborate here coming from like industrial players, but of course also academia. And it's really important also to talk to government and making sure that we are aligned here. It was stated already that China, US, they massively invest in that technology. We see that, of course, based on growth we do in that countries. But I think here in Europe, in Bavaria, where we have so much relevant resources, know-how, and companies that are pushing that topic, we need to collaborate further. So that's why I'm really happy to also be part of this group, and especially also looking at the lighthouse cases and projects that we already have, where we can showcase actually what the technology can do, and then further identify the right research projects to innovate, but of course also to make sure that we have the right educational setup to really grow the talent that we all need so daring. Like, it's so important that we actually have the people who can grow these companies with us together, and for that we need the right know-how.
Thank you so much. Let's also give her a round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. And thank you. And I'll go now to Linde and Amitabh Gupta, who is Vice President of Technology. Linde, of course, a long-running partner here at AMTC. Why did exactly these companies embark on the cluster? Is this a closed shop, or is there an opportunity here for other countries if they want to get on board?
So let me take the second part of your question first. It's obviously a very open shop, because this is all about innovative collaboration, and you don't do that without an open door policy. So we're good as the founding members to get this going, and we obviously hope for more partners to come in to make this even stronger. Right? For us to come together, a lot of good things were said by the speakers before me. It's to bring together the best of all capabilities, from making the powder, making the advanced machines, and then the final end-use properties which have to be adopted by the users for this to really take hold. And our role in this as a supplier to the industry, I'd summarize by our mission, which is making a world more productive. And we do that across the board for all manufacturing industries. And in this case, the use of our gases is critical to not only making the powder, then making the 3D part in the machine, and after that, for post-processing, to get the part the right strength and physical properties so it can be used in the end-use properties. Right? Last word from me is it's a pleasure for me to be here in TUM. I live in Chicago in the US. Us being here together, all our companies have a strong presence here in not only Munich area, but in Bavaria. Our company was founded in 1879, just very close to here, as most of you know. So it's a particular pleasure for me to be here with all of you, and we look forward to collaboration, including the government of the Bavarian ministry.
Amitabh Gupta, thank you so much. And I'll move right over to Amitabh Gupta's neighbor, Andreas Lessmann. He is chairman of the management board of General Electric Deutschland Holding GmbH. And tell us something about GE Additive's motive for joining this Bavarian-based cluster.
Of course, thank you. Yeah, we are absolutely thrilled to be a partner and be involved in the Bavarian cluster. I think this is a perfect opportunity to share our learnings, but more importantly, to learn from the other partners. Without collaboration, without innovation, this would be a dead end for us. GE's presence in Bavaria reaches back for many years. We have the center on the TOM campus. We have a strong collaboration with Technical University in aerospace, but more recently also in additive manufacturing. And this is the perfect opportunity to bring it to a next level. Actually, just the other day, I was talking to some of our younger, talented engineers, and they are super excited that the campus will have a more vivid life again and an exchange of ideas and thoughts. And this is, I hope, what it is all about. We have been talking about competition a few times already. We don't think it's a big constraint or any obstacle. We thought about that internally, actually, quite a lot. This is innovation. This will drive AM technology. Without you, without the partners, we can't do it alone.
I've heard the great term co-opetition to refer to exactly that.
That's a good word, yeah.
Thank you so much,
And
Andreas.
let me thank the Oerlikon team for their hard work during the last week. Yeah. I know it was super tense and stressful, but they've done a great job bringing us together and making this happen.
That's very nice. Let's have a double applause for them and for Andreas Lessmann. Thank you. Often they don't get thanked to the end, so thank you very much for doing that now. Let me ask the same question now to Siemens and to Audi, if I may, because you are also global players, obviously, in your respective industries. So why join the cluster? What added value does that give you? Peter Koerte?
Yeah, well, sure. I mean, the key word is cluster. Because nobody, as we said, nobody can do it alone. So you really have to collaborate to make this work. And we've seen this over and over again across the globe. If you have a center of gravity where many key players come together, co-create, discuss, where people come to, where you experiment, where you exchange ideas, this is how clusters are being created. So nobody can do it alone. And if we all speak in the same language, we really can shape the industry. And as I said, we firmly believe in the three mothers of necessity, and that additive has a huge, huge potential, not just coming from the niche, but really going into mainstream. And this is what we want to do, dedicated to making this mainstream.
Thank you so much. You managed to make necessity sound so exciting and pleasant. Oliver Hoffmann.
And not so much to add, Peter. Even as a big player, and we as a premium brand, we are happy to be in the VW group, so one of the biggest, or maybe the biggest car company worldwide, one of the biggest. But even as a big player, you're not in the situation to do everything by our own. Yeah, we have to think in strong partnerships, especially in times we mentioned before. And so this is maybe the same that Peter said before. We have to think in partnerships, and I believe in strong partnerships to push technological solutions forward and to push the limits. This is why we are here, and happy to be part of this group here, and happy to be part of AMTC at that day at the tomb. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And let me go over now to, sure. Yeah. Let me go over now to TUM President Hofmann, because it has been mentioned several times, the crucial role of academia for both training and education, but also for research. So talk a little bit about that piece, if you would, please, and how you will link up with the industrial application side.
Yeah, I think, first of all, it's key to bring the expertise along the entire value chain together in order to identify the roadblocks. Why is industrialization of AM not happening, at least not in the scale as we would like to see it, and where the potential is? So identify those roadblocks and then set up lighthouse projects jointly, where we can say, these are specifically targeting those roadblocks. That's the idea, I think, of the cluster, where we bring our research competences together. But finally, also, I think it's important what you just said, is to spark a sense for this new technology in the brains of our next generation, because you all need top-skilled persons at work. That's why we will introduce those elements, new knowledges in our education programs for students. But even more important, I guess, looking at the demographic change and how quick technologies are developing. The people who are working currently in your companies will remain there probably for the next 20 years or 25 years. They will run through various iterations of new technologies, I'm quite sure. And that means we as university need to open up our education mandate and co-design education programs to further qualify people in the companies. So not just as university alone saying, we know everything better, this is what you need, but define the needs jointly and then co-design education programs to qualify people, so that we have best students, next generation, but also to take the existing personnel, the existing staff in the companies on the journey to the future.
And I think that kind of link is evident not only in this amazing list behind us on the slide, but also when we walk through the hall here to come to this room, you see engraved in stone some of the names of Germany's and Europe's biggest industry giants. And clearly that is a major strength of German academia, that it has that kind of a linkage. So many thanks for that. Let me go now to Michael Süß, because as we talked about, our theme here today is not only connecting opportunities like we're doing here with the cluster, but driving the entire ecosystem forward. So can you give us that link to the bigger picture as it was, how you see, as it were, how you see the role of the cluster within the ecosystem as a whole?
As you have described it, it's about cooperation ecosystem here. And by the way, Munich is, if you take Munich as a center, there's not a single place in the world, worldwide, we have such a concentration of different technologies and companies with their headquarters, with their R&D centers, as here. In combination with the top, not only TUM, but LMU and other universities. So we have almost 200,000 students in this city. And this is the place to be, because in the end, we are driving future. And we are driving future in a way that we cannot drive that alone. And we have to interact, and fortunately, Praxair and Linde has teamed up and merged, because this is a bridge building as well to the US. What we're still missing a little bit, we work very close with America First. Not America First, sorry, America Makes. Yes, thank you.
That was not a political statement, I would like to say.
No, it's not an official statement, because we have to say maybe Europe first, but the first is not the right way.
Yeah, that's right.
There is a US, there's a Europe, and there's an Asia. And we work together. And we bring that together with this ecosystem here, where we have all these companies in an open mindset, where we're open, and this is a commitment as well. Each of these gentlemen are representing a company which is putting money on the table year over year. Where the government said, and we will top that, we put money as well. From the government, we still have not the final signature, but we will see how that works. In the past, it was faster than nowadays. But still, this company is taking a commitment, and we're open to other companies taking the same commitment. We're not talking, we're moving. And we have shown the last 5 years what you can create if some only are moving. Then you can really create a crowd moving. And this is what we are here. This is what the cluster has to drive. Because if we miss that opportunity, we will miss one of the key opportunities to create jobs. We can do a lot in software and other stuff. Nothing to say against software. And you have, I guess, 25,000 or even more software engineers. But we need places where our people can work in future. It's about jobs. And it's about jobs for people which are high qualified. And the cluster can give a lot of answers to that. What are the future trends of technology? What is the face of additive contributing to society developments? What are the requirements? So this cluster makes additive more touchable, more visible. And it's all about pre-competitive work. We can later on compete. Yeah, they build machines, they build machines. They're in the same cluster. They make jet engines, they make jet engines. They're in the same cluster. Siemens and GE is in the same cluster. Can you imagine that? This is about cooperation.
Two different tables, but same cluster. Thank you very much to all of you for setting the stage so wonderfully. We will now sign that birth certificate for the new BAMC. So get ready, gentlemen and lady, please, with your pens. And let's sign the Memorandum of Understanding for the BAMC, for the new Bavarium AM cluster. Thank you so much. So there we are. The cluster is launched, and I think we'll all be very, very excited to hear next year where it's headed in the interim. So good luck and much success.
I'll ask you to make a final picture.
Yeah, let's do one more picture, please.
Close, close, close. Does that work?
Good.
Good. That's for your kids, because we are writing future.
Thanks so much. You may please take your seats.